Big Elvis the chef. I am here.
Ulrich.
We got Ulrich over here with us. We took a 15-minute break, not a 5-minute break like we anticipated, but things happen,
We need conversation.
you know. But we are here for the people, the good people like you, the good people of these YouTube streets. We got Dr. Surgeon here, the people's doctor, and that's a fact. Okay, what is this like thing I see over here? What is this round? Oh, look, that's the sink. I'm like, what is this? That's the sink right there. Boom.
There we go. It's going. Can't hurt us anymore.
Can't hurt us anymore. Boom. I'm Big Elvis, the Chef Rosenberg, and we're going to talk about Kaya. And she's the lady who slams the gavel and screams, "Gag order!" And she got really big and popular on Instagram when she was with T.S. Madison, the transsexual T.S. Madison, the porn star T.S. Madison. They had a show where they would put people on trial. And verbally, Kaya has a way with words. And she was able to demolish people. And she got pretty big and famous. And this is despite her rap career, which is done, I heard, pretty good. She's always coming out with new music. And it's pretty fire. So I have to give her credit for that. Kaya does make good music. Well, she kind of went viral again. And Queen Supreme Court, it was called. Okay, thanks, LJ. The Queen Supreme Court. So the Queen Supreme Court was, it was pretty good. But Kaya wanted to get paid, opposed to T.S. Madison wanted to get famous. Because T.S. Madison already made money, knows about money, and kind of wanted the fame. And Kaya was like, nah, I'm not giving away my intellectual property, I'm not giving away my name. So she wound up doing her own thing, and it's pretty, I don't know all the details about how well she's doing since leaving that duo. But it was a good show with the two of them, the Queen's Court. So she just went viral again. She goes viral every 7-8 months. If she wants to, she can probably go viral more than that. So let's play a clip. It was on World Star, and this is Kaya kind of giving advice to young women, so to speak.
Y'all stop acting like y'all don't see them niggas working on the side of the road. Take them niggas a motherfucking basket of chicken, hoe. Act like you see that hard-working nigga with that goddamn work motherfucking uniform on. Working nigga. Bitch. Go by the fire department and drop off some biscuits. Bitch. Y'all don't appreciate them niggas making $30,000 a year. Y'all keep wanting these fuck niggas that ain't getting you nothing but dick and diseases. Keep it up. I'm gonna take my hat off to the hard-working middle-class men out there working hard. Catch him on his lunch break, baby. And on Friday, he gonna make sure you got what you need. That was my daddy and granddaddy. Maybe I'm just reminiscing because ain't no more daddies like that no more. Everybody want to be a drug dealer and a rapper. Nobody don't want to be no worker, hard hand, helmet wearing ass worker. You niggas, but we like them boys, men, real man. Y'all don't want to give him no respect. He don't want nothing but a six-pack and some money to get back and forth to work. But he gonna make sure that bills paid. He gonna put that dick on you. They gonna be happy when you cook go in there and give him that steak and motherfucking mashed potatoes and goddamn salmon. Yeah, that. You bitches better lie to get your family back in order. God, what that's all. You remember when mama used to fry that chicken in that Tupperware bowl and put that goddamn paper towel in it and take that bowl up there to daddy job? I do. When we got that check on Friday, baby, everybody had money. The whole house was happy because daddy was home. You bitches ain't had a daddy at your house. Study want to chase after these niggas, don't give no fuck about you, and want to look down at a real nigga. Y'all better cut that shit out. You gonna be by yourself, bitch. You getting old. You getting old, bitch. All that play shit was in your 19s and 20s, bitch. Get real with yourself.
19s and 20s.
Shit, you already, it's too late. You need to
Yeah, you know, like she sounds like at first she was speaking to young women, but is she speaking to the older women, like to wake the older women up? I think yes.
I think the older, he's definitely talking about older women.
She's letting the older women know that there was a group of men that didn't mind giving their whole check to their girl. And all she had to do was show up lunchtime with the Tupperware with the fried chicken in it and the paper towel to grab that grease. And he was happy as a pig in wherever the pigs get happy in. What do you think, Ulrich, about what she said about?
That where I don't know where it comes from, where the place comes from. I don't know if she's come from a place of trolling or she's come from a place of giving genuine advice. But I think
Both.
From the advice part, I mean, yeah, I agree. I think people need to settle more, not settle less. To be honest, I think people are trying so hard not to settle. That it's like they're chasing a dragon. They're chasing like a point, or they're excuse me. They're chasing something that other people want for them, rather than that making them happy, making them content, or making them feel complete. So
They're chasing things that other people want for them.
because who looks at the boxes that are checked? Think about yourself in a relationship or
Right.
in situations. Yeah, you have certain needs that are met, and those certain needs, you're not looking at every single box that she checks. Like, I can be content with something that my girl is doing for me, and that how my girl is being. But on paper, you tell her how she acts for the rest of the week. You tell it to somebody else, and they're like, "Wait, your girl doesn't do A, B, and C for you, or your girl's not doing this or that. What's the matter with you?" So I think in this person's situation particularly, I think she may be. She's given advice, or I think her advice is useful, but her advice is useful to the person that whatever ideal that they projected is it's kind of it's made up, it's fake. So
I like it. I like because not that I think it's going to make a grand difference, but I think I like the direction in which it's going in. And I do agree that it's probably a little bit of trolling, a little bit of, gaslighting, a little bit of hopping on the manosphere for a little extra clout though. I mean, the thing is, this is the perfect time for her to give that type of message, and that will catch steam, and some of the women have been smart enough to kind of ride that wave a little bit and kind of give their spin on what the women are not doing and probably what they should be doing. And the message just needs to come out. And right now it's coming out to, maybe older women in their 30s and so on and so forth.
Is
But
that the dishwasher I hear?
no.
Oh, that's the heater.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, sorry.
What was I saying?
Yeah, my bad.
No, but the idea with her talking to older women is fine. It's a good start, but you really need to reach the younger women. You really need that person that's going to have the ears of the 12, 13, 14-year-old girls and stuff like that, because that's when it starts. A lot of the women that's going to abide by or going to take heed to her message is the ones that it already didn't work out for them in a horrible way, and they're going to try to find somebody, and they're probably going to have a whole lot of issues with them that they bring into this guy that they used to avoid all the time, that used to have the working suit on, and now she wants to pay him some attention, but she's probably not going to be in his class anymore. But I think it's a good conversation to at least for us to start having. I think anything that talks about us trying to get our families back together and creating families and stuff like that is something that we should kind of applaud. Even if it's gaslighting, I think the unworried mind is going to get something positive out of it.
Yeah.
And who's listening to Kaya right now, ranting, gag order, screaming and shouting about how her granddaddy and her grandmama, her granddaddy and her father and her granddaddy, this is the way they were treated. Who's hearing this? And we started off by saying, at first I thought she was speaking to young women, then I realized she's probably speaking to her core audience, which are over 35 years old. And it'd be nice to know if is a young person gonna hear Kaya's message about this, because I think that's what it's gonna take. We talked about this in our last segment where who's reaching the youth? And is Kaya's message going to be able to reach the youth? Because the youth is definitely who needs to hear this. You know, these women need to understand the power in that $35,000 man and the power in the $40,000, $50,000 man. These men are the much more reliable and stable man. They're gonna position themselves in a way where they're gonna be better than the guy who's making the $150,000, the $90,000. The $150,000 man is not around. He's never home. The $200,000 man is never home. He's home for sleep. It's like.
So these videos are like almost like what's the word? They're like seductive, because they cause women and even men to chase a dragon or to chase the ideal I was talking about earlier. So are these videos made not to advise, kind of like the other video, but to made to incite? Not because
What you mean?
because all I'm getting because who's gonna hear that video? Like Elvis said, young people aren't gonna hear this video. The people who need this advice aren't gonna hear this video. The people who really hear this video and heed to any of the lessons are people who said, wow, she's right. You don't have all that time, because they have experience to say that the well isn't as abundant as it was before the.
So it's part of the spinning the wheel, where she's talking with folks who's probably like her, or who think they're kind of alike and stuff.
No, I'm not saying I'm not even saying that's who she's talking to. I think she ideally, like you do, like best case scenario, she wants to reach young people, because they know that's the only time advice matters is with young people. Advice doesn't really matter when you
I'm
say
not even
it.
sure. The part I was saying is partly gaslighting, because she wanted to come across very comical, and that's not how you reach young. In other words, a young woman wouldn't catch on to that. A 16, 15-year-old is not going to really.
No, I don't think she's being
going to
comical.
relate
I think
with
she was I don't think she was being comical as into she was making jest of what she was saying. I think she was speaking about a serious subject with levity. So
Yeah,
I think
okay,
she was
okay.
speaking about it like, and she was laughing about it. But I think what she was saying, she believed that. I believe what she was saying wasn't to
I'd be
joke or to be
curious.
sarcastic.
I'd be curious to find out, what else she said in the past regarding this topic or anything close to it. Did she have that same stance, or is this kind of like a new stance that's kind of like going on with the times?
Well, she is a married woman now,
Okay.
so that's a good thing.
Yeah.
So
She's
she's
an
married.
inciter. She's not. I don't think she's trying to incite, not advise. No one's gonna listen to no young person is gonna listen to this advice, because they don't know what they're saying. It's like when you tell kids there's people starving in China, so don't waste your food. That doesn't mean anything. That doesn't mean anything to a child. You can say that because they have no inkling of actual starvation of need or needing or wanting, and all they know is being taken care of. So the 19 and 20-year-old, all they know is success when it comes to men. I mean, they know heartbreak. Like the 19, 20-year-olds experience heartbreak all the time.
Another thing we probably should take into account is that, most of the content creators that we're talking about, did she have that in mind? I don't think most of them go out with the idea. It's just, I want to reach folks. But then their demographics kind of get carved out for them. So I
Well,
don't
this is
think
a career now.
you
She's
know.
married. She's married. This is a career now. I can't imagine she's doing things.
No, what I'm saying is I don't think, she had a specific, she just wanted to know who's going to vibe on her topic. But, and say like for
Okay.
Tate, I'm not sure whether or not he came in and said, well, you know what, I'm gonna have the ear of the young folks. I think it kind of like happened, maybe kind of like organically, it's like, oh, well, this is my audience. They really, same thing with Jordan Peterson. I don't know whether or not
No,
he
no,
really
no,
thought that was going to be his wave because,
I disagree. No, Jordan
Well, some-
Peterson's a little different because Jordan Peterson, Jordan Peterson, he was a professor and he taught this, and he had to write about a lot of
No, no.
he was originally he got his a master's, I believe, from he was an alcohol. He wrote his dissertation on alcoholism.
I think he seemed almost kind of like surprised that was on certain conversation he had. He almost seemed surprised that was his core audience.
Who,
Young men, but so on and so forth.
When he
And,
said clean your room, wasn't he the one that said to go and clean your room? Jordan
yeah.
Peterson, and young people really were like blown away by that, and they were
It
like,
wasn't so-
"Oh my God, he's talking about me."
It was that young men specifically that got into it.
Yeah.
He was speaking to all young people, but young men just having to latch on to it.
Right.
So I think that's what he was surprised about. I don't
Right.
think he meant to.
He didn't think that was. But so I'm saying all that to say that a lot of times somebody have a message and you just gravitate towards a certain group, kind of gravitate towards your message. You just would happen to be fortunate if you're the person that catch the ear of the youth. And I think they didn't expect that from the rise of we were talking about Tate before. They wasn't expecting that, so that kind of really took them off
Wait, who?
of Tate. So that kind of like took them because he probably wasn't thinking that, but there's a lot of power when you have that type of demographic that's threatening.
Right.
Because
I think the word threatening is a good word because Kaya would be threatening if she could grab that young audience, these young women who's saying to themselves, "Wait a minute,
let me focus on my family.
yeah, the $35,000 a year guy is a good man. The $40,000 a year guy is a good man." You see, my only problem is that the $40,000 guy, the $35,000 guy, is living the life of a $60,000 guy. And he's in debt, and he's struggling, and he's wanting to be, like she even mentioned, these guys, everybody wants to be a rapper and a drug dealer.
Because all the girls, whether they specifically say it or not, they come across like they want a rapper or a drug dealer. So he's going to try to play that role.
Right.
I never even understood that. I seen that. Maybe the girls that are into me never were into that. Looking or whatever.
So you're saying that you're not aware of the young guy who's
No, the young woman who seeks out that because what they're seeking out is confidence and a good
right.
not like the drug dealing lifestyle and the drug certain drug, especially when you're young and you're drug dealers, you're probably having sex before any of your peers. You're probably making money before any of your peers, so you have a different confidence in it. But that's what they're attracted to, I think.
Attracted to the confidence.
Yeah.
I mean,
And,
it's just,
and the the guy making 40,000 who spends all his money in Macy's and TJ Maxx and all these places to have a certain look, they're unaware of the confidence. Like, this is what's bringing them confidence, I think.
Well, no.
Opposed to-
If that's what's bringing them confidence, I think that'll show and that'll manifest in how they conduct themselves with them, or how they conduct themselves when they're not glossy. I don't know how else to put it. When they're not
Glossy.
put together, when they're not, and that's going to show their true confidence in him.
Right.
So she could be attracted to him being broke and so jovial and being proud of being broke and stuff like that. She could be attracted, but that's fleeting. That's not gonna last long. He's so careless, he's so fun-loving and free-spirited. He doesn't care that he doesn't have money or something like that. That's a
I think that's part of all of our misdirection. I think we've allowed, ourselves and and society kind of like lead this direction where the guy that's making a decent living and can take care of his bill, you know, feels shameful if he can't flash and he cannot, you know, and portray this, you know, grand luxurious lifestyle. It's like, in other words, even buildings going up now, it can't be a regular building, it gotta be a luxury building. And everybody kind of like, you know, is buying this like luxury lifestyle, even in their kind of like persona. So the average guy have an issue with trying to portray himself as average. And the same thing with the ladies. And as a result, you know, sometimes the guys themselves are not looking for, you know, a real woman who's just kind of like normal. She gotta, you know, be done up, and, you know, the eyelashes have to be, you know, 1.5 inches long, you know, flipped up to their forehead.
Oh,
So
those are
it's-
so doofy.
but the thing is, but that's like the wave now. That's kind of the thing that's going on now.
I'm not
you know?
attracted to a woman that has some dumb corny eyelashes.
No.
Well, you take the train every day to work. Don't you see all the women? I didn't mean for that to come across. No, on the train, I would expect the train is packed with these women with these eyelashes, no?
No. Actually, well, all right. You get two different trains.
Have you seen them?
So you get one train and A train, two different groups of women. The one train you get women that have gone to go to Columbia. You get girls that are going to Lincoln Center. They're a little more, I guess uppity for people who dislike them. Upper class for people who like them.
Right.
So on the A train, you get kind of, you know, just kind of regular everyday blue collar for people who like them, and kind of dirty people for people who don't like them. So now in both I kind of run towards the middle. Nothing's better than the other, but whatever the fake eyelashes, crazy eyelashes, you're gonna see on the A train. Particularly, you're gonna see on the A train. The one train after Dykeman, if you're going uptown, you're gonna see.
4 out of 5.
So when you pass like 125th Street elevated train.
No, not
train,
the one. No, 120. Even on the one train, it doesn't just start changing until maybe like 181st or something like that. Maybe probably 181st. That's when it changes a little.
So after 181st, the eyelashes are popping.
It's just different. Look, there's nothing wrong with the eyelashes.
It's a prerequisite.
The eyelashes are beautiful. They're fine. I have no issue with the eyelashes. It's just that they're prominent. Like you can't miss them. It's like it's almost like they all agree to do the same thing. So whatever stereotype you're assuming is there at certain points of the one train, is there at certain points of the H train.
Right. Right, I get it. I think.
I like actually you take the train. You
Well, you know, I just.
have some elitist sounding.
I don't mean to sound like that.
You
I
take
just,
the train all the time, don't you?
Don't you take the train? Oh, you know how those vagabonds dress with their garb and that.
it's interesting. It's interesting what you hear when I say that, and I can't take away what you hear when you say that. My intentions are truly pure, and I just wanted to say to you that I would assume that the whole entire train is full of these eyelashes. From the white girls to the Chinese girls to the older women to the younger women, everyone has false eyelashes that are way too long. And do they just go to extremes in certain areas? Of course. But I think that there's a big movement that has women only dressing for other women. They're not dressing for men. And it'd be cool if this woman, Kaya, and her message could get to the young women so that they can look at the guy making $35,000, $40,000, $50,000. Look at this guy as the guy who's going to possibly, like she said, that once he came home every Friday, everyone had money. You know, and it's like, if you got I think people just, the woman is going to have to work, of course. She's going to have to work, and in this, especially in a city, you know, like Houston and New York, Miami, you know, if you're making 35 grand, your girlfriend or your wife is gonna be making 35, 40 grand, it's going to now be bringing in the 60 grand to the home. So I think with that, you could do something with 60 grand if you guys are focused and not in TJ Maxx and not
Together.
in Macy's and not in, these places where
Live
you,
within your means.
yeah, so.
That's the big part. Folks have a real hard time of living within their means and kind of like, really, accepting that and going along with that.
Right.
That's the real thing. The issue, she said that 18, 19, but if they get to 18, 19 and play around, at that point they're playing around with the person who's not really serious, who's playing around, who got the extra cash, the doughboy and all this other stuff, and now they get ran through, and this is where they pick up all the baggage.
Right.
And now they turn around and try to come back later on, and it becomes a problem when they're now 25, 26, after going through all those traumas, and now they want to, hook up with a good guy who's like, 35. And then, it becomes a disaster, because once those seeds are already in place, so now it gives the rise to the incompatibility, the cheating, if that's there, you get ruined early on, not later on, so the early on is a part that needs to kind of be protected.
Speaking of that, I find myself attracted to those trauma women, rather than the innocent, the polished,
You'll
nice,
get
good on paper.
you'll get over that.
Okay.
No, you know what? The trauma chick. So the trauma chick is probably good for that young man from 16, 17, 18 up until his late 20s and early 30s, because those are your experiences. And you're going to learn a lot of experience by dealing with a lot of trauma. But at that point, you're just having fun, smash and stuff and gaining experience. You're not trying to wipe these people up. They already have the trauma, and they're going to let you know about their trauma, and you're going to learn from that.
Yeah, but maybe they open up more. Maybe because it's maybe it's easier to connect with them, because usually the trauma chicks, the trauma women, they open up so much
So you can
more
learn.
fully, and there's so much more. So it's
I hate
easier
that.
to build a connection.
So you
But
learn.
with the some of the now, I've dated really innocent, nice women, but I've never been in love with the really innocent, nicer women, because the innocent, nice women, they're so
innocent and nice.
it's no no they're so it's almost like they check so many boxes. It's almost like they're disingenuous. It's hard to it's hard to connect with something so polished. It's easier for me.
Well, can I say something that has everything to do with you?
Oh, wait,
And
you're calling me broken? You call me broken?
Absolutely. I'm saying that, you're broken. And if you're
Ouch.
attracted to these damaged women, it's because you have so much on your plate that you need to work on. And there's so much of over it. that
And they
needs-
distract me. They distract me with their
Oh,
complaining.
yes. And any man who wants to sit and listen to a woman about a woman's trauma. And
I don't
think-
want to. No. All right.
And
Go
let me
ahead.
just, these are mostly your words, I'm a paraphrase. But you're saying that you like a woman who's able to open up to you about her trauma early on, and then you can find yourself able to love that person.
No, just not even their trauma necessarily. Not that to open up like how they are. They don't always put themselves in the best light when they're communicating, when they're trying to articulate their stuff. But something about it's just a little more genuine.
And it's good.
Yeah, I don't know.
And this is what, if you're a young person, that's what you're supposed to pick up on. You're supposed to use those early years to meet that person that's going to open up with you. So because when you come across somebody that tries to lie to you, then you could pick up on those things. Because you've been around folks that's been genuine. And while you're between 16 and that late 20s, early 30s, and you're having all this experience, you still want to treat these traumatic women, with some dignity and grace and stuff like that. Because a lot of times they can't really commit to you the way you'd like them to commit to you anyway, whether they want to or not. But at least what you could do is show them a good time, have some fun, and so on and so forth. When you get into your, mid-30s, the time for fun is over, and now you have to find somebody that actually can be a real significant part of your life and team.
But Doc, you keep women at a distance. You could have known them for years. You could have, what's it called? You keep them at a, you keep them separated, even when they have shown themselves to be
No, and
not damaged. It showed themselves.
That's true. The thing is, what I like to find, this is the thing I like to say a lot. I want to get the best out of everybody that's around me. So we're talking about a young lady. The thing about it is that my thing is I want you to be your best, and I want to be as close or as far away as necessary to get that out of you. The thing about it is there's somebody you have a great interaction, but if they get a little too close, then it might be a little too clingy, too control, could be all those type of
So
things.
you don't believe in correction? You believe in self-correction? You don't believe you have to correct
I
them?
believe in not trusting somebody, but knowing them. And if you allow them to be open enough and allow the person to be who they are, then you know who they are. What you don't want to try to change somebody.
Right.
Oh, yeah, I
Because
agree
when
with that. Yeah, I
Because
agree.
and the thing is, if you are interacting with somebody enough, they may want to change for you. But at sooner or later, who they are is going to resurface. It never fails.
That's-
So that's the whole
that is
idea.
true.
You can't make a hoe into a housewife. Don't do that.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
I mean, that's
You
like
can
having a woman you
never,
have to check constantly.
ever make a hoe into a housewife. Or let's just say this, a very popular woman. She's very popular and she goes through her popular stages, then that's not a wife.
She got tainted.
So no matter what Kaya says about getting the guy who's making 30, 40,000, unfortunately she might be talking to the 29 to 39-year-old who's at the wall, who's slamming right up against the wall. And these women are hitting they're hitting the wall very hard every day.
And that's not and the truth is, and if you are that guy, who's grinding and been doing it and been on that path for a while, I'd implore you not to accept this woman. Now after she went through all that, now what you're getting back is the regurgitation of what wasn't wanted. It's like taking vomit. But, that might be a little harsh. But, vet them. Just do your due diligence and vet these folks. And
You keep saying that.
the same
You
thing
need
goes.
CIA? What are you
The same
talking
thing
about?
goes for.
Dude, you have to vet these.
How do you plan on vetting these women?
when
What
my
are you
woman
talking
and
about
I
when you
got-
say vet them?
Got put in a situation.
I'm about to tell you right now. Oh, but let me just say this right before you tell me.
Yeah, well, both I would believe either.
The
way
other
when
thing
you
is
say that
this,
shit.
it's almost as bad because we have another issue out there. We have a handful of wives out there. And if you're really a wife or not, but you out here following these chicks, watching these videos, and you think that you're supposed to be on the gram, bouncing and popping and shaking, and you playing yourself like a hoe, but you're really a housewife. It goes both ways. Don't play yourself. That's not going to get you nowhere. It's going to get you all the wrong intention. That's going to actually turn you into a real 304, and then you're going to be damaged as well.
Right.
So,
Oh, I 1000% agree with the little family channels with the mom. They have a family. They're all sexy. They're dropping it like it's hot and stuff like that. They have a husband there. That would be unacceptable to me if I was in a relationship. But that's
So you're
neither here
saying
nor
that
there.
if you were a married man and you have a hot wife and your
Hot
daughter's
doesn't even matter. She can be ugly if she's doing. Hot is the least. Hot has nothing to do with it.
Well, the scenarios nowadays are they showing the hot mom with the two or
If
three daughters
she's showing her
that are
body
hot.
off, if she's showing her body off, she's moving around, she's allowing my daughter to act like allowed her. I would. I'd have been divorced for it. I couldn't. It just wouldn't work. It would just be beat, or I would get something would happen. Something would come to a head.
so you
Like, it
wouldn't
would-
be no
like, I would get in
Kanye
trouble.
West. So you wouldn't be in the Kanye West situation.
Did you see
No, I
Kanye
would
West
be. I
daughter?
would be in a Kanye situation because there's legal parameters keeping him from getting to where he needs to be because of his aggression towards a situation.
And now-
I would have been 10 times more aggressive than Kanye.
But here's
West.
the thing. Now make a
I would have
vote.
popped up
It's-
at. That's too. I would have had the police call.
It's
That's
about to
too
be.
much.
It's
That's
about
my
to be.
kid.
It's about
That's
to.
too much.
It's about to be full circle from what Elvis is about to tell us because the truth is, if you don't want to end up in the Kanye West situation, you better vet your chick appropriately. Otherwise, you're gonna end up in a Kanye West
All right,
situation.
I'm not listening to this vet shit because it's just makes traffic. So you're just making sounds with your mouths.
Go ahead.
Vet, how do you plan to vet? Are you looking at her resume? Are you looking at her degree? What is making you understand?
Yes,
Anyone can be at her best behavior.
Can I tell
Anyone
you?
can be. All right, go ahead.
You know how you vet someone?
Yes.
It's through family and friends.
What if you don't have? What if you don't have those connections with them where you can
If
check?
you're telling
Actually,
me you going through life without family and
no,
friends?
connections with them. In other words, you don't have a connection where you can ask them. Oh, you know, so and
If you
so.
can't
I date
connect
so
with
and so.
them, then you might not. That might not be the chick. If you don't.
No,
care about friends or
What I'm
family.
saying, where you can connect with their family in so much as their family can communicate personal things that will indicate how their behavior is in the future.
Let me
That-
finish.
All right.
Okay. Don't interrupt the host. Thank you.
All right.
All right. So, speaking from experience, I'm in the bar business. I meet a 19-year-old young woman, a 19-year-old woman, and I am in my early 30s, okay? And my family was totally against this 19-year-old. And at the time, I would have the 19-year-old at the bar, and I was giving her Jolly Rancher drinks, which is just peach schnapps, grenadine, and peach schnapps, grenadine, and lime juice or lemon juice, which is all non-alcoholic, and it'd be this beautiful drink. And she would sit and she would drink this drink. It looked like she was drinking alcohol, but she wasn't, because she was too young to drink alcohol. She was 19, 20 years old, sitting at my bar, and I would always hook her up with a nice, cute little martini drink. And my family was against it. They thought that, they didn't understand. First of all, they thought she was too tall. Everyone was like, why would you be with a woman that's taller than you? And I didn't even know that she was taller than me. It wasn't my boy, Baldy, God bless the dead. Baldy was like, it's so surprising to see a man with a woman that's taller than him.
His name's Daniel.
No. Baldy, that was my guy for a long time, and he passed away, unfortunately, from a heart attack. And I told you, all my friends were always so much older than me, and they all died. I used to have this whole team of people, ready to go. Like, I remember this, I talked about making all the clothes, and I would be able to commission patterns being made, and all that stuff is over. That, you can't, all that stuff is over.
With the wind.
It's gone with the wind. And let me tell you, man, my family and my friends would put her to the test. There would be scenarios that would happen, and they would be watching to see how she reacted to that. See what her opinion, what do you think about this? And that's what it takes to vet somebody. Is you need like in other words, if you like a person, it would behoove you to have the doc and myself, all of us hang out. And we're going to get to know this person, and we're going to be able to vet this person like, dude, she's lying.
Hey, you thought my ex was on point like icicles.
I thought your ex was on point like how?
Icicles.
I on point like icicles. Never heard that. That's so funny. On point like icicles.
But
That's so
what I'm
corny.
saying-
He was
What?
improving. He was improving.
You're
I approve.
intensely improving. You're very improving.
You guys would have worked
She
out
was
if
more
you didn't
stable.
if you didn't move to Texas. You all would have been married. You guys would have worked out in New York City. When you went to Texas, you didn't have your driver's license. You had to drive you to work. No woman is going to put up with that. That's just a fact. All right? You're used to taking Ubers. You're an Uber guy. You take a train and Uber, and you're good and you're happy. That's perfect for New York City. Once you go to Austin, once you go to
Yeah,
Houston,
but a woman
that's
with a loyal
over.
heart will have a loyal heart. You understand?
No. She did not have a loyal, unloyal heart. You guys just fell apart and it didn't work. And here's another issue. She was pursuing her career. She was pursuing her education still. She moves to Texas with you. You leave your job to be with this woman in another state who's in a college, surrounded by single people. That had nothing to do with whether I thought she was good for you or not. I liked you two together. I thought she was fine. I thought she was a cutie pie, but I don't know how scandalous she was. You never discussed that until until over a year after you guys had not been together.
I was the scandalous one. She wasn't the scandalous.
Yeah, she wasn't the scandalous one, but whatever I'm saying is, your friends and families are the ones that vet these women. And that's how you do it. You don't, you're too close. You're too up close to a person to even see it. Do you know how many times I be telling the doc, like, that ain't the one? Aggressively.
Yeah, but no man.
He's even told me.
No man is
Doc,
gonna
Doc,
listen to that from another man, regardless of how much of your friends are.
it's gonna have an effect. It's gonna have an effect. It's gonna have an effect because the doc is the first one to be like, no one has ever come as hard as you've come. Because I've met somebody that the doc liked, and I was like, no. This ain't the one, dude. This is a bad plan. Have I not done that? I've done that aggressively.
Out of control.
I'm not out of control. That's my friend. This is my friend. He's a 1%er. You don't need to be bringing in. I don't care. You don't need to be bringing in certain people. So that's what you do. Vetting is through your friends and your family.
That's tough because they can be in their best behavior in front of everybody.
No, it can't last for long.
Yeah, not around me.
Not if you're going to keep it going and stuff like that, and it's not going to last for a very long time. They're going to slip up.
Look, somebody said, Doc like, damn, Elvis, chill. But I'm quick to tell the doc, no, that ain't the right one. No. Only because I'm very protective of my friends. I don't want to see nobody who can slither their way in. And that's what they do. They don't walk in, they slither themselves in the room. Anybody that knows Chef knows he can't bite that tongue. Oh boy, who said that? Oh, that's LJ said that, Latasha Joe. No, we can't do it. Yeah, I have a problem with that. I'm very, very outspoken. T. Rilla, thank you for coming in.
What's up, T. Rilla? Always good to see you, man.
And then we have Kamala 42. Thank you for showing up. Salute to you. Salute to you as well. And then we have Ricardo Emmanuel. Thank you, everyone. Don't forget that this here is a value for value show. So the Cash App is $sign Elvis Rosenberg, and the Venmo is at Elvis-Rosenberg. And what you're getting here is you're getting Elvis, you're getting Ulrich, and you're getting Dr. Surgeon, an actual MD, an educator, and a guy from New York City who's been in the cannabis world 10 years, 11 years. And then before that, I was in the bar business and club business. And I've also owned my own pizzeria and a small restaurant. And I have experience in business, and I have experience and I'm also married and been with the same woman for 18 years. So I know a little bit about relationships and what it takes. And it's never rosy. It's never just this amazing time. Yes, we can have that, and then a week goes by, and then we're like, what the hell? So you have to be able to, I think a lot of people are just stuck on this, I have to be this so happy. And they think that this man who's making more than 50, 60, 70, 80,000 is going to bring them happiness, when the $34,000 guy is like an amazing guy. He goes to work every day, he's never been late. All his bills are paid. He doesn't live home with his mom. He's ready to have a family and really be there for the kids. Take the kids to the baseball games and to the bowling, and take the kids. That's the great thing about the guy making 40 grand. The guy making 40 grand can take the kids to the bowling alley. He can take the kids to the skate park. He can take the kids different places that a guy who's making 150, he can't do it. He ain't got time for it. Just imagine the guy making 200, 300,000. It's almost impossible to get time from these people because it's so much, there's so little time in the day. And we were talking about that earlier. How there's just so little time in the day for a person who's got a vision and got a goal and got a plan. So A lot of you women need to stop looking for this man who's so driven and so gung ho and dedicated. I got this going and this going and that going, and my Instagram is this. I got this many followers. I got this going on, and tomorrow I got this going. I got a photo shoot. I got this. I'm going to the gym. I got that. I got this. I got this. I got this going on. Maybe you need to get with the guy who's making $34,000 a year, $42,000 a year, because he's gonna have time to. He's gonna do that 9 to 5. He's going to invest in his 401k. He's going to have insurance. He gets sick, he's going to be okay. You know, so that's a good thing. You know, so let's listen to Kaya, because Kaya, I'm not sure who's really hearing this. The great thing about going viral is that people can hear you that is not your audience. Going viral means that you're going to reach the people who you never reached before. So hopefully she's reaching someone young who's going to look at that guy and say to herself, maybe I will fry some chicken and bring it to his job.
And at the heart of it, it comes down to men and women being able to vet, their partners. You good with the vetting now?
No,
you don't like that?
I'll think through the execution of how it's gonna.
No, so it's a beautiful thing.
All right, well, Chet, why don't you chime in for me first? Elvis has spoken for the doc. He can't even keep somebody in line, but Chet, keep an eye out for me.
So you want the chat?
No.
You want the chats? You're hustling
No,
you're hustling the show for a date?
No. Oh, that's me. I'm playing. We're talking about betting. We're talking about how we're gonna.
Well, your vetting is with your friends and your family. That's why
y'all know me.
I would say let the person meet your parents. Let the person meet your friends. Let the person meet your daughter, your son. Let the person vet these people, see how they're going to respond in these situations.
See, I mean, I kind of maybe approach it maybe even a little bit different, but it's like, you go through your vetting process, and then when you have, other folks and stuff like that kind of give you an idea about what's going on. And that's kind of like in line with like your vetting and stuff like that. You kind of already know where you're at. Because normally, a lot of times, if you don't go through vetting, and they're like, hey, listen, that might not be a good thing. And then they might cause you to come back and think about certain things. But if you go through that vetting process diligently, you're going to come out on the end of it and actually, win. Because,
So, okay, let me ask you a big question. If you had a gut feeling about a woman, you met her, you guys are getting along, and your friends and some of your family members articulated some kind of disdain towards her, would that change whether or not you pursued that?
No, it
All right,
wouldn't.
exactly.
But,
That's my
but
point.
the thing about it is,
Your independence nullifies vetting.
No,
Because
but
the
it's always your decision. But the thing about it is, if it's something that is completely left field to you, you're going to take another look at it and say, well, you know what? Let me just sit back and watch this thing that was said. Let me see how
Yes,
it
if I decided to date like a little person or somebody different, a little different, maybe I'll talk it through with a family member or something different.
You mean a little
That's-
person? Like a little person? Or what are you talking about, little person?
The lady friend.
That was an example. Well, I did mean a little person. That was an example of the kind of things that I would want some advice for. And because you said left field, and I don't want to get too deep in it because now it's
You like little people?
Yeah. You have a thing for little people?
No, what I'm saying, no, I don't have a thing. No, I don't want to fetish.
You always surprise us.
Anyways, the point I'm making is, you're talking about something from left field. What would we constitute left field in which you would need advice from an outside source?
No, say for example, you're dating somebody, you're feeling them, you're feeling her.
So why would you
everything is
need?
great.
So you need validation of those feelings?
No.
Or
You're
verification?
dealing with
If
somebody.
you're too close, dude.
That
you're too close.
indicates that the fact that you need outside advice indicates that
No.
there's some kind of insecurity within your connection.
No, it's not having anything to do with that. The
No,
vetting process.
no,
The vetting
absolutely
process.
not.
If I was good and they showed me all the right times, I wouldn't need to You know, hey, what'd you think about this guy?
No, that's not how that goes. I'm saying the vetting process.
You know what I'm saying?
The vetting process I'm talking about is a very direct
Your family,
on-
you need to listen to your
on
family.
what you're going on.
He
But
didn't even go through the vetting process though.
what I'm
I
saying-
allowed them to test and put my woman through the
And you
vetting process.
contradicted everything that they said. So you ignore the vetting process.
No, it's a little bit different. Like, you know, the vetting process I talk about is kind of like something that's directed by you.
Oh.
Now, if you're in a certain situation, and you have somebody that you were interacting with, and now you have a friend of yours say something that you was unaware of, you know, so you don't stop liking the person, but you would take note and see, okay, well, we're not. You know,
Unaware, you mean like a personality trait?
a personality trait.
How
Like,
do you
know,
miss? But how do you miss a personality trait? How
I
do you
mean,
miss a
you-
personality?
You're
If
too
you're doing
close.
it- if
You're
you're
up
doing
too close.
If you're doing it yourself, you shouldn't miss it. If you're actually checking off the things that you should be checking, you're gonna bet this.
Yeah, but I
completely.
don't check. I don't check things off because I'm not a psychopath. So I don't check little boxes off.
No, it's not about it's character traits. It's the way the person interact with you. It's the way that they move. It's allowing. The real good thing is it's really allowing the person to be who they are, so they could be themselves completely around you to see whether or not that person can work. You know,
You
with
overestimate your ability to see that or differentiate that. When because you overestimate. No matter, even though we're very confident about our perspective and points of view, we underestimate how much love can manipulate or how rosy-eyed glasses can be put on us. And vetting, and I don't think vetting
What I'm
like
saying.
overtakes that or alleviates any of the potential consequences that has to be with meeting somebody new. And I think you can say you can ask your boys, how do you feel about this person? You can ask your family, how do you feel about this person?
No, but that's
And
not.
all
That's
they
not
would
the
get- all they
vetting.
would
That's not the vetting.
What is the vetting? What
The
are you
vetting
talking
is
about?
your process in interacting with the person. It's not saying, hey guys, what you think about her? Is
Yeah,
she
but
good?"
your personal
No.
vetting can be compromised based on your rose-colored glasses.
This is the problem.
So
It
how?
is-
So where's the vetting? So
It
where's
is the
vetting?
Here's an
It
example.
is the rose-colored glasses that throws you off. You, as the man, as the guy, you're not supposed to lead with the emotions. Oh, and I love
But the
her,
same
I
way
feel great."
rose-colored glasses can throw you off, other people's opinion can throw you off.
Other people's opinion is.
That's what vetting.
consideration.
That's what you're talking about when you talk about
No, no,
vetting.
no.
You're talking about introducing them to your friends,
I think no,
your
no, 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 no.
family, and to see things that you might have missed.
No, no,
That's
no.
what you said.
No, no. Elvis said that that's part of the thing that he used to kind of like
Oh,
vet
now
and
you
talk about his
separate-
family and stuff like that.
yourself.
No. I mean, I said he's going to explain it. You know, you talk about, you know, my vetting process. I've always, I never say anything about, you know, hey, have your friends vetted and stuff like that, having meet their family. I'm saying you have to meet them, meet their family, her history. You know, her. When he said that, I'm thinking about her family and friends.
But you're assuming that the family's gonna put them in an honest light.
No, no, no,
They're
no,
not
no,
gonna
no,
put
no,
their
no.
best foot forward.
No,
when it comes to
no.
their
See, the
family.
thing is, this is where you come in and knowing how to talk and read between the lines and see certain things. Nobody's gonna come
Are
out
you
and tell you
really
you're a
gonna-
horrible person.
Yeah, but if
Have you ever
really-
come across somebody who was horrible, but they didn't tell you they were horrible, but you could tell through their story
relationship wise,
what they try to leave out or
relationship wise,
in any relationship?
I don't think I ever dated anybody that was horrible.
No, but you know what I'm trying to
I
say.
dated people that I've dated women that like maybe are more or less adjustable than they come off, or less.
And how did you pick that
accommodating.
up?
By their behaviors.
And the thing about it
But
is,
I didn't need family to tell me that, and
No,
I picked
no.
it up. And those are relationships I ended.
those things you're talking about, see that whole family and friend thing, that the family and friend is going to weigh in so you can decide what you're going to do. That's something.
So that you're saying that's Elvis's
No,
Elvis's
he-
philosophy.
he
That's
made
what
that-
you're
he-
saying.
he made
That's what
that
you're saying, that's
point.
Elvis.
No, that he
So
made
you
that
stepped away
point.
like that.
He made that point, but that's not a big piece of the vetting process I'm talking about. The friends and family I'm talking about, as far as it weighs in, as it weighs on your specific situation, has to do with their friends and family and interacting with them, talking to them about that
Yeah,
person.
but what's to stop them from putting them in the best light?
No, no,
Because
no.
they have an incentive because they're their friends, they have a good relationship. to
Exactly.
put them in the best light.
The truth of the matter is,
So how-
you expect them to put them in the best light.
So you're supposed to differentiate from you're supposed to assume that you know their friends and family enough, whereas and you can say that exactly where they're misinterpreting or misrepresenting them. See, the vetting, that's what I'm saying, there's a
So,
fundamental flaw in this vetting thing.
No,
that you guys are
it's
talking
completely
about.
straightforward.
There's a fundamental
It's a
flaw in
completely
everything you're
straightforward.
saying about the
A
vetting.
lie is going to be a lie, and the truth is going to be a truth. You can speak to her, you have complete conversation. Hey, listen, about us being timely.
Okay.
And she says that, you know what, I'm always on time and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, you guys are always on time. It's like, oh, we're always late. They're not even thinking that, they're
But
saying.
my
but these
conclusion would be they're not on the same page, not that one's disingenuous.
Well,
there's
no,
mad-
they're not being
there's so many-
disingenuous.
There's so many, yeah, but that's what I'm saying, they're dits, so that I would conclude them to be ditzy. So they're not necessarily disingenuous or manipulative. And when you color somebody as ditzy, you may placate some of their crazier or emotions or crazier actions. You're like, oh, she's just ditzy, that she's just cute, she's sweet. Now, it's gonna, no matter how hard you get them, if you attribute some traits as being ditzy rather than manipulative or sketchy, how are you supposed to vet that? How are you supposed to vet a person who wants to get chose so much that they're able to.
Does say
They're
anything
able
that
to-
you think you want to hear. The
Yeah.
thing about it is, you're going to.
A method actor, how can
you're
you
going to-
get a method actor?
You are going to understand, just like the way you're able to pick up the person who's, who was the lady you talked about, she wasn't as, agreeable as you thought or whatever like that. The same way you're able to decipher that, you're gonna be more astute as picking up these other, subtle things.
But my liking, there's logic. I
It's
can
all
follow
logic.
somebody. Yeah, but I can follow somebody that sounds dopey in an argument. It's hard to follow. It's hard to follow your feelings so much when you're into somebody. Sorry, we've left
It's
that.
not what it is.
I think you've proven why parents should be picking their spouses for their children. Because you're going so hard on an imaginary idea that you can
Refuse.
pick.
No, I'm not going hard on it yet.
You
I'm
are
refuting
going-
the
You're
validity
going
of this
10
idea.
So you
toes down.
think, you don't wanna
that-
bet, you just wanna go.
I'm refuting the validity. Go ahead.
You're going 10 toes down on this idea that you can solve all these problems when you
No,
can't.
you can't. No, that's my point. Is that you can't. You can't solve. You can't vet. You can't put yourself in the best situation. You don't know how the situation will go.
Here's the way one of the situations will go. Is we go out with our family. How much alcohol is this person gonna have?
Less because they're with their family.
You don't know that. If they're their
I'm
true
assuming
selves,
that.
they're gonna be who they are gonna be.
And these are the things that you can pick up
Yeah.
by subtle
How
things that's
much-
being said.
How
But
much?
you
How
don't
much?
know how their true self is because you don't know you know their true selves with you. You don't know how they are with their families.
That's why you have them around the family, so you can pick up on those differences.
I just think I think more parents need to be choosing their spouses for their children.
I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree with that.
Children are, looking for this magic, this magical thing, and they're not using logic. When you're with a person, it should be a logical decision. Any kind of decisions you're gonna make about having children and all that. Like people ask me, why would you be with you're 6'2", why would you be with a woman who's 6'4"? They couldn't understand that when we were first together. They just couldn't understand that. Women that were in my life at the time was just like, why? Tell me why. Why? Is it because she's young? That has to be what it is. It's just you think you're gonna find somebody you're gonna mold into this person you want them to be. And I'm like, no. And the truth is, it's like at a certain time in my life, I thought about children and what will my kids look like. And I want to make, I want D3s. I want the top of the line athletic children. And I knew that this woman was going to bring me amazing athletic children. So that was one of the reasons that I went there. Like, I don't think a person should meet a person and go on a vibe and waste 3 months of their life, 2 months of their life, a year of their life, when they could have done some vetting, like, you take a woman and you put them in, there have to be situational, there has to be things that happen. Like with me, it was about a trust issue. When I was coming up, I would have a $20 bill test. And I would always take the $20 bill and I would fold it, but you could see it's a 20, and I would I would take the $20 bill and I would fold the 20 like this.
You showed the cream. I'm gonna take this.
I would take the 20 and I would fold it like this, where it's kind of, when it rests, it's kind of sticking up like this. And I used to have this particular chair that I would always have the women sit in when they came. Remember the kitchenette that I had in Harlem?
Yeah.
And I had the I had a full-size bed there, and then I had a trunk on the foot of the bed. I had a headboard and a footboard. It was like a sleigh bed from Gothic Cabinet Crafts. You know, they made all those wooden
I don't know
things.
what that is.
Yeah, they were very popular back in the 90s and the early 2000s. And I had this sleigh bed made by Gothic Cabinet Crafts, and on the foot of the bed there was this chest, and right on the floor where the chest was, I would always drop that 20 where it'll be sticking up like this. So you will always be able to see that it was a 20. So it would be sticking up like this on the floor. And you were able to see it. And it was never more than a 20. I never did a 50, I never did a 10, I never did a 5, I never did a $100 bill. It was always just a 20. So when the woman would come over to my house, she would sit in this chair. It was a, I don't know the name of the chair, but it was an armchair with a back, a cushioned chair, very nice and comfortable.
An ornament.
Not an ornament. It was
A lazy boy.
no, not a lazy boy. It wasn't like big plush, and it was very quaint. It was more like for reading, and and right above it I had a lamp, and that lamp would be there so you can read. It was like a reading chair.
Gotcha.
And I would sit in this chair knowing that 20 is going to be right in eyes length, because I had the television to the right of the bed on a stand. And it was impossible for them to miss the 20. Do you know that my wife that I'm with right now is the only woman who never took the 20? She never took the 20. That's part of vetting her. I've vetted her. I've tested, I'm not trying to say the number of how many women I've tested that was in my home, but there was enough of them she was the only one that didn't take the 20. And it would have been impossible for her not to see the 20. And she just wasn't that person. She wasn't going to take from me. And another thing is, how giving is this woman? My 19, 20, and 21-year-old girlfriend, which is my wife, she would work a job and spend her money from her job to try to get me a gift.
I mean,
Took me out to dinner and spent every dime she had for 2 weeks' check she saved up just to take me out for my birthday dinner. She said, I want to take you out for your birthday. And she saved up 2 weeks of her money to take me out to this, it's one of those restaurants that they cut the meat, the long meat on the stick. It's like Brazilian food. It's actually in that spot where Better Days was. Better Days was a club. And they turned the Better Days club into this Brazilian style
that's
meat on the
before
stick.
I went before I proposed, right before.
Yeah. So that was on 54th Street, right?
Yeah. Right
54th,
walk
yeah.
to Central Park. Yeah.
Yeah. When I was, and it was crazy when that club was Better Days. I was in the Better Days club selling mescaline.
Hey.
I went from selling mescaline when I was like, I was like 16 years old in Better Days to now I'm 34 years old with a 21-year-old or 20-year-old buying me a $400 dinner. That's part of the vetting, and then it's like I had a 6'4" woman who knew that I like a woman in high heels. What did she do? She got rid of all her sneakers and bought high heels, and was 6'4" wearing high heels at 20 years old to show me that she was trying to make that effort to give me the man that she was trying to be with what he likes. That's vetting. But that $20 test, it was like so sad how many of these women that was nice women, good, wholesome women with job. One woman worked for Verizon making $75,000 a year, took the 20.
That's a big investment, though. For all those 20s,
It was worth it though. It was
Because you get
worth
rid
it.
of them.
You
I
got
got rid of them. I got rid of them, but I did relieve myself like a dog before they left. But then they got ghosted because it was so disturbing. Like, wow. I wasn't holier than thou and just kicked them out right away. Get out of my house. I know what you did. No.
No, that, you know.
I was selfish and looked out for number one. I'm Big Elvis, the Chef Rosenberg, y'all.
I'm over.
Dr. Surgeon, People's Doctor.
And we are Premium Black News, but are we? Next week we'll know.
Dum dum dum.